first. That's fine. Hi, Liz.
Hello.
But what has the assimilation to college basketball been like for you so far? Can you kind of just take us through the last couple weeks?
Yeah, it's been great. I think that I haven't played at this level at a school like Notre Dame yet, and I've obviously played against schools like Notre Dame at my time at Marquette, and so to see this environment, especially at a football school, a school that's incredibly excited about its women's basketball program, it's been truly remarkable to see all the support that we have, and I'm super excited.
In terms of getting used to this nucleus of players, how's that going? How do you feel like you fit this group?
It's going really well, actually. I've never played on a team where all 5, 6, 7 players could be in the WNBA someday. So that has been really incredible to learn from so many players and to be able to build chemistry right away. I think that for me personally, I'm kind of taking on the mindset of whatever this team needs. I know that my numbers aren't going to be the same as last year at Marquette, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here to hang a banner, so whatever that takes, I'm willing to do.
Well, let me take you down that road since you mentioned it. I mean, what are the goals for this team this year? And what do you guys talk about?
Yeah, we talk about a national championship. I think that for a lot of us, it's kind of the last opportunity to do that. So that gives us a different drive. I didn't know if I was going to take my 5th year or not. So the big drive for me was to play at this level, to go to Florida, to win a championship. So that's the goal, and that's where we're headed.
Liza, I'm sorry. Okay. Your last game for Marquette was on this court
yes.
here. At that time, had you made up your mind about a 5th year? Had you thought about the portal a lot, very much? And what were your impressions of playing?
I was really back and forth. I think that I was actually in the stands watching Notre Dame play when I knew for sure I was taking my 5th year, which is crazy. I know the seat and everything in the arena, and I remember watching and looking around and being like, wow, I kind of only thought this environment was at UConn. I mean, I've played UConn 12 times in the Big East, and so that was the only place that had that environment. And then I come here and see that exact same environment, the same energy around women's basketball, and I'm like, yeah, I want to come back one more time, and I want to be at a school like this. So crazy that it ended up being that actual school, but yeah, I feel really blessed to be here.
And then you had mentioned that you wanted to do whatever the team needed. As you've gone through the summer and some of these practices here in the fall, what do you envision your role looking like?
Yeah, I think that just grit and physicality for sure. I'm a 5th year player, so I do have a lot of experience. I think that having the underdog mentality a little bit is something that I embraced at Marquette, and I kind of want to bring that to this team as well. No one on the team currently has been past Sweet 16, and I want to change that this year, and hopefully the girls are on board as well. So we're excited.
Last one from me. I don't know if you match up with Kate in practice, guard her, but I'm wondering if you do, what that experience has been like.
I do not match up with Kate, thankfully, in practice. But she's a great player. She has a ton of confidence for a freshman, which is really, really rare. She comes in, she makes great moves, great footwork, especially for a freshman as well. She brings size to our team, which is something that is really, really valuable to us. So I'm so excited to see what she does this year.
Liza, you and Leah too were announced at the same time. What was the timing when you became aware of her? And did that buoy your decision, or did it make you think twice, or did it make no difference?
Not really. I actually didn't know. I committed to Coach Ivey, and she's like, we also have another commit, Liza King. And honestly, especially with the size of our roster, I think the more the better. I was really excited to play with someone like Leah too. She's been incredible. To have that another 5th year with that much experience has been great. She's a great leader on and off the court, and I was really excited.
And then second and last for me, when you were here during the NCAA tournament, you opted out of a tour because of your studies.
Yes.
What went into that decision, other than just you were obviously loaded up here?
My decision to go to Notre Dame.
No, to not take that tour. And
Yeah, it is. I think in March it's really hard. You're missing so much school. I'm a civil engineer undergrad, so going into my senior design projects, and I was taking a lot of credits. I couldn't make it on the tour. It was only the only hour or two we had to study. But I was back a few months later on a visit, and I fell in love with the campus, and it's been great ever since. So,
what's it been like to play with Hannah and Olivia distributing the ball?
It's incredible. I think that something I'm reminded of daily is that I'm playing with two of the best point guards to see the court at Notre Dame. Two of the best. You know, there's obviously a big group there. I think that their chemistry, the way it's so easy to play with them. They're incredible leaders. They are very vocal, which is great, and they're just so competitive. And that's all you can really ask for from your point guards is to compete and to lead at the highest level. And they do that. They do that really well.
And then, what were your impressions of the program when you were playing at Marquette, and how has that changed since you were actually here?
Honestly, it hasn't changed too much just because I didn't watch a ton of ACC basketball. I think that the biggest thing last year was when they went into UConn's court and they played really well against UConn, and that's when I was kind of like, oh my gosh, like this Notre Dame team is no joke. And I think after that game, I kind of kept them on my radar, and I don't think anything has changed from that point. They're extremely hardworking, they're tough, they're gritty, they're competitive, and I think that's what I saw last year, and that's what they continue to bring now.
And finally, for me, how would you describe Coach Ivey's coaching style?
I love Coach Ivey. Coach Ivey is just so, like, she empowers her players so well. To know that she won a championship here and she coached on the team that won the championship here, I have no doubt in my mind that she's going to take us where we want to go. She's an incredible person, an incredible coach, and I'm so excited to be playing my last year under her.
Liza, what's the biggest difference between Big East basketball and what you know about ACC basketball?
I honestly would say size. That's been my biggest thing, a little bit faster, a little bit bigger. I think Big East basketball is really positionless, and I think ACC is moving that direction as well. But you still have those bigger posts, and you still have, you know, extremely versatile players on both ends. They're just bigger, I think.
Biggest adjustment from going to Marquette to here? Classwork or athletically, what would it be?
Yeah, I think there's a few. Obviously, classwork. I mean, I'm not an engineer anymore. I'm in the management program, and that's been a lot less work, so thank goodness. And then basketball-wise, I think just playing with the talent that I have. I mean, you guys know our roster. You know how good these women are, so I think that is just the biggest adjustment of kind of stepping out of that role of being the go-to player at Marquette and understanding where does the ball need to go, who's hot right now. I think that's been a huge difference.
How quickly, when you were looking at schools, did you look at this roster and say, whoa, like that program's got a chance to be really good this season?
I think that even before I entered the transfer portal, I knew how good this team was going to be. I think watching them on the court in March Madness last year, seeing them in person, almost everyone was returning. So I think there's no doubt in my mind that they were going to be a really good program this year. I mean, with or without me, and I obviously wanted to be a part of that. So.
Anna DeWolf is a player that kind of had the same situation as you, coming in as a go-to player at her former institution and now on a roster that has so many go-to options. Have you talked to her about that at all, and kind of how are you approaching that transition? Yeah,
it's funny you say that, actually. I was just on the phone with AD last week. She was actually here on my visit, and it was just really refreshing to have a player with almost the exact same situation as I went through. And obviously it can be tough. You know, you're going from averaging the numbers you did, and now you're coming in. I think just realizing what the main goal is and understanding that this is so much bigger than me, and AD did that so well last year, and I'm taking on that mindset as well this year and working with Coach Ivey to understand what she needs from me on and off the court to make this team the best it can possibly be.
What does off-season preparation look like for you? Like, is it a lot different now than it was when you knew that you were the go-to player at Marquette as opposed to your role now?
I wouldn't say so, just because I think you need to have the same level of confidence and the same amount of moves in your bag. I don't think your skill level goes anywhere. I think it's simply prioritizing your chemistry with the guards. That was the biggest thing for me this summer and this fall is how much can I get to know the players I'm with. I only have 1 year, so how can I maximize that? A lot of times chemistry with your guards can take a really long time, and so I think being able to get that work in with Hannah and Liv and Sonia as much as possible was really, really important.
Do one more for you.
How long did it take for you to fit on the court, just playing pickup in the summertime? Like, how long did it take to, okay, I can fit in here, I can play here, I can do something here?
I still think I'm working on that every single day. I don't think it's going to be an arrival of I finally fit here. I think every single day I'm working towards that chemistry of understanding my teammates' tendencies and things like that. I think it took me a few weeks to get a little bit more comfortable, and at Marquette we did a ton of sets and set plays, and they kind of are a lot looser here. They play out of things a lot more. So I think kind of understanding their movement patterns and their spacing was huge for me, and once I got that down, it's become a lot easier.
Thank you, Liza.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, Maddy, how are you doing?
What's up? I'm good. How are you?
What's up with you?
You know,
Well, you came out with the post. Well, why don't we start
Yeah.
there about your injury? Can you kind of give us the backstory and how you're feeling today?
yeah, absolutely. Well, like I was saying, I've been playing in pain for a pretty long time with my lower leg foot injury, and so a lot of people have been saying like it's an injury. For me, it's really a healing. So I'm really fortunate and feel very blessed to be able to take this time to properly heal going into, early conference play and the rest of the season.
And what can you do to stay engaged and improve your game while you are healing?
Yeah, it's actually been a really great time for me to kind of sit down. I've never listened to my body before, as far as this, in this way. And so for me to be able to sit on the sideline, I get my workouts done early in the morning so that I'm ready, can be fully present for my teammates when practice starts. So for me, just sitting on the sideline and really trying to mentally engage and be within practice and see how my teammates work. I was telling Liv, obviously this is a really unfortunate thing, but at the same time, I'm so excited to be able to watch her because it's different, when you're on the court versus when you're off the court, and you get to observe and, be a better teammate because of it.
Did what Cass went through last year have any bearing on your decision? I mean, her, she trying to push it, and then she had the stress fracture for the whole year, basically.
Well, could you rephrase that?
Yeah, did like her experience with her injury give you any pause, or did that not factor in at all?
No, not necessarily. Very different.
Okay, and then in terms of timetable, do you have a more precise timetable? Because that's what we always bug people about, or do you have
Yeah, I mean, every day obviously is a step forward. I'm not exactly sure when, but early conference play is more so what I'm looking for.
Okay.
How are you going about approaching a season where you're not going to be able to play from the start? Because for 4 years, you started every game minus the one because of the concussion, which I know upsets you a little bit, but it's so much different. And how are you approaching that?
Yeah, it definitely was hard at first to kind of grasp. I think to practice that level of acceptance was pretty difficult in the beginning, but now I see it more so as a gift. And it's more so as, I like to say I'm in divine timing right now, because I really truly feel like I'm not missing out on anything. This is my journey. This is ultimately what I decided to do. And so for right now, I'm just really excited to stay in this moment, and not try to force anything, not try to go past this, because taking care of my body is something that's really important as an athlete, and kind of we overlook that sometimes. So I'm really trying to stay present in this.
I'm sure you've had a lot of teammates who could help you with that, both present and former, who have kind of been through that, right?
Absolutely. Everybody has been phenomenal. I feel so much love and support from all of my teammates, coaches, everybody here at Notre Dame has been just phenomenal.
Last one from me, with Liza and Liatu coming in here and you not being able to play, how much does that kind of bolster what the team's going to be able to do until you return? Because it seems like they can do a lot of the same things that you do, and it's exactly what the team needed in a situation like this. Yeah,
it's really incredible, isn't it? I think for them to come in and just, the weight that they've had on their shoulders has really been remarkable, and the way that they've carried themselves and the way that they are just willing to do whatever Niele and whatever the rest of the team needs for them to do. You know, they come in, they step up, and they step right up to the challenge. So I'm really excited to watch them play and really excited for this group to be able to start the year out.
How do you help those two and Kate, both at different levels? How do you as a leader help them adjust to the chemistry of this team?
Yeah, I think honestly it's everybody. This is a new chemistry this year. You know, we have the core three who Liv, Son, and Hannah, who know what Coach Ivey wants, know the system and everything around that. But when it comes to our team's chemistry, this is something that we're still figuring out, and it's completely new, and it's not what it had looked like in the past years. And I think that's a beautiful thing too. And for us right now, I think it's just taking it day by day and trying to organically build that chemistry and off court, just team bonding time, so that it can translate onto the court.
Do you see yourself as a mentor somewhat to a player like Kate who's learning the ropes of college basketball?
I would say so, yeah. I definitely would say so in my 5 years. Could say that.
Well, and what have you seen from her so far?
She's not a freshman. She is so special. And, you can definitely see that European play a little bit, the European style, where she can do a lot. And she's very mature, and just her IQ is unbelievable. Even just the summer workouts, you could see everybody was like in awe being able to watch her play, and just the decision making that she had. She's just incredibly smart and incredibly gifted at basketball, and I'm really excited for her career.
Maddy, you've been able to take a step back and see how your team plays. Seeing Olivia and Hannah out there together,
yeah.
Ivy had a really good description of it. What's your perspective on how dynamic that those two are out there together?
It's gonna be awesome. I'm just excited as you guys are. They're the two best point guard, best 1-2 guards in the country, and to have them on the same team, like it could only be a good thing. And just to see them compete and practice every day is really remarkable, and like to see their leadership, and we just want to win. Like Coach Ivey has been saying for a while now. Right now our thing is to keep the main thing, and everybody just wants to win, and we're willing to sacrifice whatever that means to achieve that.
Adding Kate to that, who's not a freshman in your words, I mean, how does the playbook expand on Ivy's end? Does she seem like it's more fun and more explosive now because you can add Olivia and Hannah and having them dish it down low to someone like herself? Yeah,
definitely. I think adding Olivia, she's so creative with the ball. She's an artist in the game. And so I think with Coach Ivey's kind of program, the way that she runs things, everybody is able to do a little bit more and, kind of be a little bit more creative. And I think that also just comes with Hannah and Liv. They're more comfortable with the ball, and it allows everybody else to kind of want to step outside of their zone and try new things, be more creative.
What are you, as you slowly work yourself back to being ready to play, like what are the benchmarks you're kind of looking for? Like how will you know when it's time, do you think?
I would say, every day is kind of a benchmark for me. Whether that's, just the other day I was able to, it was a big benchmark for me being able to, take a different stride in steps and, different things like that. But I think just mentally, working my way towards that, working my way towards where I want to be. And then every day on the court, just working until, my body says, let's go.
What do your workouts look like right now?
For right now, they're pretty, I'm trying to take it slow right now. Doing chair workouts on the court, doing chair ball handling and form shooting and all that, and getting in the weight room a lot, trying to get stronger, trying to keep in tune my mind with my body, and lots of rehab. So just taking it slow, but taking good steps.
When's the last time you did play basketball?
I couldn't tell you.
Ever?
Maybe I started in 2nd grade, so probably 1st grade.
And the fact that you can't play, what have you learned about yourself? What have you learned as a person, maybe as a player, in having to sit and watch more than you're supposed to?
Yeah, I'm really thankful that I'm able to ask myself these questions. You know, like, who am I off of the court and who am I as an observer? And I think I really feel like I'm taking care of my little girl again, if that makes sense. You know, like I've been able to walk really slowly, and I've never done that before. And especially with this year, I plan on going 100 miles per hour. And then at this point where, you know, I'm trying to take really slow steps, really small steps, I'm finding the beauty in that. You know, everybody has to take some time and really accept taking care of themselves and taking care of, you know, your mind and your body connection. So for me, I'm learning that I can be patient. I can be patient with myself, and I can listen to my body.
How many times have you told yourself, man, I wish I was out there. I wish I was going to practice at 3:30.
I have refused to let myself say that. I'm really trying to be right now. Just you know, my time will come. I'll be out there when I'm supposed to be out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll take it. Everybody good?
Yeah. Sure.
All right. What's it been like just to be, I know there's really never an off season anymore, but now that you guys are in season, what's it been like just to be back out on the floor with your team?
Yeah, it's been awesome. The energy is great. Everybody came back in better shape and worked on their craft. Everybody's a lot better. All the new additions, they've been, the transition has been seamless. So I love the energy from practice and just seeing how much we're growing every day.
Someone else will ask this if I don't, but I'll just ask it. Like, having Liv on the floor with Hannah, what does that look like to you?
Electric is one word. It's really fast-paced. It's a lot of energy. They do a great job of sharing the ball. And I could have never expected the pace to be even faster, but it is. Liv looks amazing. She's strong, confident. She's ready. And just seeing their chemistry growing has been a lot of fun.
Is one of them the one versus the two, or how does it look?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Hannah will bring up the ball, you know, Liv will bring up the ball, so they kind of play off of each other. Right now, I'm just working through the offense, but yeah, both of them run the point, and then, you know, one person will be off the ball, but it kind of depends on who's closest to the ball or some things that I'm running. So they've done a great job of kind of sharing it, but sharing that responsibility.
As someone who has a point guard's mind, what would it be like to be on the floor with someone who's as good as you are at what you do?
I mean, they make each other better, and they make their job easier because you have two incredible minds on the floor. So, I mean, personally, as a point guard, I would love to have another point guard with me because it takes a lot of pressure off of the offense, you know, defenses and stuff like that. So, like I said, they're doing a great job of kind of just flowing off of each other and kind of feeling each other.
You've got 4, maybe 5 players on your roster with the potential of being the person if they're in a different place. How do they work together and figure out it's my turn, it's your turn? Like, what's that equation look like?
Yeah, I have a very unselfish team, so that's number one. They're very unselfish. They all want to win. They all want to compete. So we see a mismatch, you know, something's called for that mismatch. We see somebody that needs to be fed, you know, they'll do that. So when you have a great group of unselfish players, no one cares about getting the credit. They all want to win, and we're just growing, trying to figure out where does Leah like the ball, where does Liza like the ball, because we have a lot of new pieces. So I think that's the recipe you guys are going to see, is that they're unselfish and anyone can step up. We have a lot of weapons, and I'm hoping that helps us, you know, as we're going against opponents, because it's not really one person you can stop.
Coach, you talk about not having pressure, the point guards not having pressure on each other, but for you, was it pressure to take off for you, or does it add pressure to be like, I can expand this playbook and I can have fun with this?
I hope it takes pressure off me this year. It's just fun, you know, to watch those two. I think, again, when you have multiple ball handlers on the floor, it allows the offense to work even better, you know. But yeah, I mean, I trust both of them. I have a lot of confidence. I believe in their abilities. They believe in their abilities, and right now they're all believing in our vision. So I think it's been a lot of fun as a coach.
I'm not trying to get you to predict the future here, but like, do you sometimes kick your feet up in your office and like, it's gonna be a good year, like this is fun?
No, I don't. I'm always thinking about plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. I take every day, try to stay present, take every day and try to work on how I can be a better leader for them and also how I can make them better every day. So I feel like with this job, it's always a lot of expectations. I talk to myself about quieting the noise and just focus on getting better every day.
How do you create the chemistry with this group? Because every team's different.
I think in the off season, this summer, having them together, obviously in the summertime has helped. This preseason, we've done a lot of things together as far as team meals, just being around each other, getting to know each other. We've had, obviously going to they go to volleyball games together. Maddy and Liv have had Sunday brunches or Saturday brunches, so they've had opportunities to spend time with each other. Because I think when you build great chemistry off the floor, it translates on the court. So we've found pockets of time where we can just get together and have fun, and it's been awesome kind of just learning each other and building that chemistry off the court.
Maddy has already declared that Kate is not a freshman. What do you see from Kate?
Yes, she's so dominant, but I think I'm most impressed by her confidence, because sometimes as a post, even as a player, in my post players, my freshman year, sophomore, it takes time to really kind of know who you are and how you fit within a system. Kate has come in to South Bend ready. She knows who she is. She's very dominant. She's very smart. And I've learned that her passing ability is just as great as her scoring ability. And she's great defensively. So she's been prepared for this level, but I think her confidence is what impresses me the most.
Where does Sonia fit in this group right now? Because,
yes.
Not a lot of people talk about her, and yet she's very capable.
Yes. It's funny because Sonia is the quiet assassin. Sonia is the glue. Sonia looks fantastic. I would say her experience, she's gotten stronger, faster, if you can even believe that. In practices, she's one of our best defenders, but she's also the most efficient. 2 words for her, for me, is efficient and disruptive.
Niele, what's the status with our Cass and Emma full go, and what's the status with Kylie for this season?
Yes. So Emma and Cass are full go. Kylie is 6 months post-surgery, I think yesterday, so she's still in rehab, and she's taking it day by day of her process.
Is there a chance she'll play this season?
Not sure.
Okay.
In light of that, what do you do, and with Maddy being out for a while, what does your post depth look like as you start the season?
Yeah, I mean, not what I expected, I would say, coming out of the summer. But, Maddy's in healing and it's coming along really well. Right now we have Leah, Liza, and Kate, and I'm the type of coach that might play 4 guards. It depends on what looks good at the time and what lineups work for different matchups. But right now, that's our post depth chart.
Cass got cleared right before she kind of got into the Canada stuff. So this is like a whole new player. So what are you seeing from her, and where do you feel like she fits in this chemistry?
First of all, I think she's grown. She just seems like stronger, and she had that opportunity to rest properly. And this summer, that she gained a lot of experience being a part of the Olympics. Going to France, and I think having her back now, I feel like she's just wiser. You just understands the game a little bit more. You gain a lot of experience when you're playing against Olympians, and she's an Olympian. So I feel like she's come back just stronger, better. She does a lot of things well. She's so, like I said, her versatility, her size, her ability to score at all 3 levels, but also using her size. Her defense is incredible. She looks faster, I guess you can say, but just having that experience, having another year under her belt, and having that Olympic experience, I feel like she's come back even a lot better.
I don't think anybody would question your team's toughness after what you rose above last year, but Leah, too, you kind of add her into the mix. What does that bring to it?
She is so versatile. She is so, I call her a bucket because she's so smooth. She's never too high or too low. She plays really hard. She plays a lot bigger than her size. Having her on campus, playing against her, I always felt like she was a lot bigger. And then when she got here, I was like, wow, she plays a lot bigger than her size. But I love her experience. She gives a lot of poise within our post position, our depth in our post position. But she's just really smart and can score at will.
And the last one from me, I think last year at Media Day, I asked you, hey, you got all these bodies you could probably press at full court and stuff. and then you didn't.
Yes.
I'm wondering if that maybe is back on the table a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be strategic right now with everyone returning to play and making sure everybody's healthy. That's my number one goal, is to stay healthy all season and get those injured players back. So we'll see. What I have put in kind of a small press just to have something in the bag, which I'm always going to have something just in case we can use it. But I was hoping to press a little bit more, so we'll just see what it looks like as we open up on November 4th.
What did you need to see in spring or summer from Hannah and Liv that told you they can't play together? Because you put 2 point guards like that, maybe one would want to be too unselfish, or
Yes.
that one, what had to work for this to work?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this summer was a time just to grow. They played a lot of pickup together, just getting comfortable playing the game together, because they've never had an opportunity to do that. And I feel like they just grew this summer. And in practice, I worked on a lot of fundamental concepts. We worked on a lot of player development, and then I allowed them again to play more 5-on-5. We scrimmaged more this summer, and I think with scrimmaging, you get a chance outside of the coach telling you exactly what to run. You get a chance to build your chemistry on your own, is what I tried to do with them, and they did. It's just when you haven't had an opportunity to play both sides with somebody that dynamic, it's just you grow together once you can finally play together 5-on-5. So that's what they did. A lot of scrimmaging.
There was no reference point for you as far as playing 2 elite point guards together. So did you talk to anybody? Did you kind of to try to figure it out? Like, how am I going to make this work?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I watched a lot of NBA this summer. You see a lot of players or a lot of teams that have dynamic guards. You talk about the Celtics, you got Brown, you have also Tatum, you have Kyrie and Luka. So I see a lot of honestly with the Pistons, I watch Cade and I watch Jaden. So I kind of use those references just to see, like, what does the offense look like? How does that work? So I try to do a lot of research, watching a little bit of WNBA. You see Jewel and you see Skylar playing together. So I look at all those type of offenses and schemes and try to kind of implement things that I think could work for us.
What is it about Liza that says, yeah, she'll fit?
Oh, her motor. And you talked about toughness. She brings toughness. Has the experience. She's a great locker room young woman as far as like culture. She's such a great leader, a quiet leader, but I feel like her experience is exactly what we needed, especially with the absence of Maddy for right now.
Even with Maddy out, you have a couple of transfer forwards who obviously started pretty much every game where they were previously. You have a 5-star freshman. How hard has it been to kind of say, hey, here's our starting 5, this is who's going to go out first in games? Yeah,
I mean, I'm looking at different rotations. I think it usually determines itself more towards close to the beginning of the season, but I try to Kate with, I tried a lot of lineups. So we'll figure it out more in November. But they love to compete. Everybody's unselfish, and so it's been working.
Emma is somebody that I think it was Olivia at ACC Tip-Off kind of singled out and said, watch out for her this year. Where is she at in kind of, obviously we know she can shoot, but in terms of being able to be trusted to be on the floor in the regular rotation, where's she at with that?
Yeah, I mean, she's doing great. She's coming back from injury, so we're kind of taking it day by day with her, making sure that she's smart with her return to play. And again, she brings a different element to our team. We haven't had a sniper in the way that she can shoot in a very long time, and she's doing a great job of trying to, because she didn't get as much time last year as far as just working with the team and being active and being healthy. So for her, number one is just getting healthy, staying healthy, and then just figuring things out defensively and offensively. But she's been great. I think I would totally agree with Liv. There's so many players that I can say that are under the radar, and she's definitely one.
And as a whole, this team just comes in, I feel, with a lot of expectations. Is how do you manage that, not allow the team to get too far ahead of itself?
Yeah, just having transparency with the group as far as not listening to the noise, focusing on our goals. We meet a lot. And fortunately, I've had a lot of opportunities to either bring speakers in just to kind of talk about being focused and things like that. I know you guys saw Tamika Catchings that came in and spoke to the team, but mostly it's just keeping the main thing, not worrying about the outside noise and focusing on getting better day by day.
And then defensively, Hannah was one of the better guards or just defensive players in the country last year.
Yes.
What do we hope to see from her this season, taking that next step forward?
Yeah, honestly, just continue to grow from what she's learned last year. I think she has such incredible experiences under her belt. I think she's going to be more comfortable this year. especially obviously with Olivia back. She worked on her finishes. She's worked on her three-point shot. She's always trying to get better. And so for me, it's just, and for her, my goal is for her to continue to grow as a leader. I'm going to require her to score a lot, to kind of either run the point or, being somebody that's coming off of pin downs and screens and stuff like that. So being experienced as a sophomore, and sometimes these sophomores, you hear about like either the sophomore slump. For me, for her, I just want her to stay consistent and keep growing and getting better.
One more.
Coach, multiple seasons now behind your back as a coach in Notre Dame. How do you feel that you've matured and become a better coach throughout these past couple of years?
Yeah, just trying to work on my craft every year. For me as a coach, it's I go to a lot. I talk to a lot of coaches. USA Basketball really helped me as far as just being in a different environment. I've never had the opportunity to coach in USA Basketball, and I feel like I learned so much with that experience. I'm so grateful for that. But never being satisfied and complacent as a coach. I'm always growing. I'm always trying to learn. I'm always going to practices, trying to find ways for me to be better, and just learning from mentors and that kind of thing. So even growing as a coach, I feel like I'm never the type of coach that wants to be complacent. I'm always trying to push myself to get better.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
I'll start. Sony, Olivia and Hannah, you've played with both of them extensively. In a game, they've never played with each other, at least a public game. How are they meshing, and what do you see that dynamic with the three of you together?
They've been meshing amazingly. It's kind of crazy that we have two of the best point guards on the same team, so to just see them work together, it's incredible. And then I think I could say it's every wing's dream to play with two guards like that, so I'm incredibly lucky and just really looking forward to actually playing a game with them, because practice has been so fun. So.
And secondly, I want to ask you about Liza. Niele just described her as kind of quiet, but super for a team's culture. Kind of made me think of you. What's Liza brought to this team?
Just constant hustle, hard work. Like you said, I wouldn't say she's the loudest person, but when she does talk, you listen to her. She's a very experienced player at that, and just always working hard. We'll do the little things that no one really notices, but again, just an amazing player.
What's different about your game this year?
I think I want to say I'm going to bring a more physical aspect to my offense, in that I'm going to be more aggressive, but also just being able to handle physicality and also bringing it myself. So.
Was there a point last year where you're like, I got to get back in the weight room because you got knocked around or this or that? That's going to end next season.
Yes, that will end, but also just looking in the future to hopefully the WNBA. I just want to start that translation now. So.
As one of the main players again, do you feel you need to be a little more vocal than what you've been the last couple of years?
Yeah, for sure.
How do you go about that?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a process I started last year, so I think I'm a little more comfortable doing that now. And again, I don't think I'm ever going to be the loudest person, but it's not really about that. I've learned, so just trying to lead the team in a way that I'm good at, and alongside obviously Maddy, Liv, all the other, we're a very experienced team this year, so that's a good thing. It's not a role I have to take on by myself. But just working little things throughout practice, trying to be the one counting, hyping up my players, or just constant talking, and I think that starts in practice, and I've definitely been trying to work on that so that in the game it'll come easier.
How have you kind of helped Maddy through her injury and someone who was hurt, to work through, especially for her, for someone who's never been in the situation she finds herself in?
Yeah, that's definitely been hard for her. It's hard for anybody having to watch, especially when it's preseason, all the excitements now and all that. But credit to her, she's done such a fabulous, amazing job. Even though she's watching on the sideline, we can still hear her just as much as if she was playing. So especially since she sees it differently, I think she's brought a different aspect to still being vocal with the team, and we're still listening to her, obviously, but she's done a very good job at that, and obviously killing it in rehab and all that. So she's been great, and along with me helping her, I think just being there for her, there's not much I can do besides just I remember when she first found out, just telling her it's gonna be okay, everything happens for a reason. There. Yeah, God's got you, so just have faith, work hard, and she's going to be back in no time. So
Sonia, Maddy mentioned chemistry on every team is different. How do you see the chemistry coming together on this team? And as a leader, how do you foster that chemistry?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to have great chemistry. I think it starts in practice, and I think what makes this team so special is we have so many talented players, but we're all so unselfish. So, I mean, I've been seeing it in practice. Just we have so many scores, but we all share the ball. We're not selfish with it. So, I think that's what it is. Like, we're learning. Obviously, the new players are learning the offense, learning what it's like to play with new players. So I think just, again, being unselfish and being willing to learn, make mistakes, and just play through that. So.
How does the old guard make those new players feel welcome?
Yeah, I mean, I think I can speak personally, just trying to make them feel comfortable in that players like Liza, Leah too, they were used to having a specific role on their other teams. So just now that they're on a new team, even though they are experienced, they might be a little more reserved in saying something, but just making them feel comfortable that they have just as much experience as someone who's been here for a couple years, and like, we want to hear you guys. So little things like that, just making them feel like we want to hear you, and what they bring to the table is just as valuable. So.
And then seeing a player like Kate on the floor, what's impressed you about her?
I think I'd have to say just how fast she's picked up the offense, and our principles. Also her passing. She's had a couple passes this preseason that have just, Coach Ivey will talk about it, but like passes that you wouldn't see a freshman make, maybe more like sophomore, junior, but someone with more experience, and she's making them as a freshman. So.
With Liv and Hannah on the floor together, has your offense changed or evolved, and if so, how does it look?
Yeah, I mean, again, it looks amazing. I would say it changed in the way that, I mean, we have more than one person now that can bring up the ball, so you never know who it's going to be. It's really expanded our options in that if the post rebounds it, they can pass it to any one of us, so that just makes us even more dangerous. So
you guys have the ability to score at all 5 spots on the floor. I would imagine that is a fun offense to play in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you'll see it in practice. Like, I think every single time down, someone different scores, and when you have an offense like that, it's so exciting to play because, I mean, you can't stop one person and the offense shuts down. You have so many different pieces to worry about, so it's fun.
Because you guys can do that offensively, because you can potentially put an all-league caliber player on the floor at all 5 spots, like what are your goals and expectations for this year? Yeah,
I mean, obviously expectation is to go as far as we can, national championship, things like that, but I think day-to-day just we're putting a lot of emphasis on our defense. So even though we have all offensive players on every position of the court, we want to be known to be an amazing defensive team. So I think that's something we're working at, and something we definitely that's one of our main goals, is being a defensive team, even though we are so talented on the offensive side.
Sonia, on the offensive side, are there moments playing with Liv and Hannah where you're like, okay, I wasn't expecting that, or that pass wasn't kind of drawn up that way?
I would say no, only because, one, I've been playing with Liv for so long, so all these crazy passes that she does, like, I'm always looking for it, because not that I expect that out of her, but I'm just, from playing with her for so long, I know, like, Liv will make crazy passes like that, so I'm always ready. And Hannah, same thing, like, I'm just used to them being amazing, so when they do stuff like that, it's like, yep, there she goes again. Like, that's yeah.
Have you allowed yourself to kind of sit back and say, man, it's already my senior year, and this is kind of my last chance to go get everything we wanted as a team?
I don't like to think about it, just because I don't think it's hit me yet. That it is my final year here, so it's kind of in the back of my mind, but again, not something I want to think about. But at the same time, like, just knowing that I need to embrace all of it, and I'm so thankful that I've been able to play here for these past 3-4 years, but just making the most out of it, just because I know, like, this is my last preseason with Notre Dame, this is my last scrimmage, like, all the first, whatever. But yeah, so just making the most out of it and being grateful for everything.
When Coach Ivey says you're disruptive, what does that mean to you? What does that look like on the floor?
I think on the defensive end, I try to pride myself on, obviously, like I'm always trying my best, but just being disruptive in that, like I'm always deflecting passes or little things like that that you might not see on the stat sheet. Like I'm not getting 6 steals a game or stuff like that, but just trying to deflect passes or just little things that, again, will just disrupt the defense.
There's only one person getting 6 steals a game.
Yeah, only one in the entire country, yeah.
You can do it if anyone has one more.
I've got one more. You mentioned earlier evolving your game and kind of looking toward that WNBA, but how do you feel like you are a better player and maybe a different player from last year other than having to play 38 minutes?
Yeah. I think that obviously being a senior, I think I've gained a lot of experience. So I think every single year I've learned something new mentally. And I think just applying all that together for this last year, I think there's a lot of mental things that I've taken note of that I'm gonna apply in game. But again, physically, I think I'm the strongest, fastest I've been in 3-4 years. So I think, yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.